So let me step out of character for those who say it hasn't changed me at all. Yes, I mean, if you have millions of dollars, it changes your lifestyle. And anyone who says differently is just full of bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I have like this huge house in Bel Air and a McLaren and like jets and all sorts of things. It's awesome. I don't need to work from a standard of living standpoint, but I do. I work every day and the weekends, and I haven't taken a vacation for years.
In order to make Mars work, we need kind of the next generation of rockets and spacecraft. We think we've got something that will enable people to move to Mars for approximately $500,000.
$500,000?
Yeah. And you can get a free return ticket with that, by the way. One of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do. People are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically seem they're way better looking than they basically really are, and they're way happier seeming than they really are.
One of the most difficult choices I've ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, then both might die. And when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child.
So, what was your biggest challenge in life?
Biggest challenge in life?
No challenge.
Well, no, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to decide which is the worst. I think just thinking about how to spend time. One of the biggest challenges, I think, is making sure you have a corrective feedback loop, and then maintaining that corrective feedback loop over time, even when people want to tell you exactly what you want to hear.
Okay.
That's very difficult.
Yes.
If you ask any scientist, are you sure that human activity is causing global warming? Any scientist should say no, because you can't be sure. Let's say hypothetically CO2 was good for the environment, and let's say hypothetically the United States possessed all the oil in the world. Well, you'd still have to get off oil because it's a finite resource, and as you start to run out of it, the scarcity would drive the cost up and cause economic collapse. I just don't understand why we would run that experiment. Particularly when you consider that at some point we have to get to something that is sustainable. We have to have sustainable production of energy and consumption of energy. Because tautologically, if it's unsustainable, you will run out of it. I mean, we've got to be excited about the future. We've got to do things that make us want to live. It cannot always be about problems every day. I mean, do you want to wake up every morning and everything's just a problem? Well, what inspires you and what makes you excited about the future? There's got to be some things like that. There are 62 McLarens in the world, and I will own one of them.
It's $1 million for a car. It's decadent.
Back in '95, there weren't very many people on the internet, and certainly nobody was making any money at all. Most people thought the internet was going to be a fad.
Wow, I can't believe it's actually here. It's pretty wild, man. This is definitely very cool. I like it a lot.
Congratulations.
Just 3 years ago, I was showering at the Y and sleeping on the office floor. And now, obviously I've got a $1 million car and quite a few creature comforts.
It's just a moment in my life.
Hello, Mr. Musk. My name is Alex Perez. I really like your jacket today, and so it kind of got me thinking, has Tesla ever thought about going into the motorcycle business?
Yeah, I actually used to ride motorcycles when I was a kid, and I was like dirt biking for like 8 years or something, and then had a road bike until I was 17 and was almost killed by a truck. So we're not going to do motorcycles.
You have to really believe in what you're creating, and that it's and know in your heart and mind that this is something that matters, that and that the world ought to have. And I think it's important to investors to show that you're all in.
What's more important, rockets or cars? Actually, that's a good first question.
Well, I guess they're both important. I guess my career is Mars and cars.
Cars and cars.
You do not need to tell your kid to play video games. They will play video games on autopilot all day. So if you can make it interactive and engaging, then you can make education far more compelling and far easier to do.
When my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA. We had just one computer, so the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night. 7 days a week, all the time. So briefly had a girlfriend in that period, and in order to be with me, she had to sleep in the office. Work hard, like, in every waking hour.
But eventually you can transform Mars into an Earth-like planet.
How would you do that?
You'd warm it up. Just warm it up. If you
With
want
a blanket or with...
a fast way and a slow way.
Okay. Give me the fast way.
The fast way is drop thermonuclear weapons over the poles.
You're a supervillain.
There are Australians today wondering, well, should we go without some food?
Sure.
That's just not something you would ever expect.
I did not expect that. We'll work harder.
Yeah, my view is that computer may be clever, but human beings are much smarter.
Yeah, definitely not.
Clever is very...
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. But what to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income, I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe.
Yeah.
Because there is no job, machine, robot is taking over.
That's simply and I want to be clear that these are not things that I wish would happen. These are simply things that I think probably will happen.
There are people who say that the company cannot survive without you.
I don't think that's true, yeah.
There are people who say the company cannot survive with you.
Haha, that's hilarious.
Somebody's just wasting money on personal luxuries in a crazy way. I'm not Warren Buffett's biggest fan, frankly, but he sits there and he reads all these annual reports, which are super boring. Does anybody want that job? I think most people do not. I don't want that job. But like he's not like engaged in like insane conspicuous consumption. So you have to say like, okay, sure, he's got a high net worth, but he's doing a useful job for the economy, and he's very skilled at it, and should probably keep doing it.
You had that third failure in a row. Did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be
dead or completely incapacitated.